This program and its contents are designed for information and educational purposes only. This program does not render medical advice or professional services and is not intended to be a substitute for professional care. The information provided here should not be used for the purposes of diagnosing or treating a medical or psychiatric condition. If you have or suspect you may have a health problem, consult your healthcare provider.
Welcome to Positive Momentum. I'm Heather McHugh.
I'm Diane Silva, and this is our inaugural show.
All right. Yep, and today we're going to be talking about our goals for this show that we want to get out to the people, our viewers, and so we're going to start with kind of Diane's vision. What is your vision, Diane, for the show?
Let me open my eyes a minute, hold on.
All right, yeah.
I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
Actually, there's several. One is to actually help people. I've suffered from anxiety for a lot of years, and I finally overcame most of it, but I still have my issues, and I would like to be able to help people, but I want to do it in a fun, as much fun as you can have, while dealing with anxiety. Yeah. But, I also want to have fun doing the whole process, because life is too short to sit here and just be Diane Downer, which, hey, I've done that already. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to kind of have some fun. And that's one thing you bring to all of this, is you're very light and fun.
Well, I don't know about that. But, yeah, when I'm tired, I no. Yeah. I tend to be that way. So tell me a little bit about what it is, the goal of the fun piece of it, because anxiety may not be that fun.
No, it's not fun. But if you take and you add an element of fun, or it's a distractor, and it doesn't have to be the unhealthy kind of distractors. You find a way let's find fun ways to work through this. Okay, let's say you're like me and you go, okay, I want to go on a trip. Yay! Oh, I got to go on it. Oh, excuse me. Oh crap! I got to go on a trip.
You got to go on a trip.
So now, how do I get there? Okay, do I fly? Oh, yeah. Well, that's got its own level of angst. Do I drive? Well, then we got another level of angst. Or do I just not go? And then I'm a prisoner of the anxiety, and my world just keeps getting smaller. Yeah. And that's just the travel aspect of it. There's other anxieties, as you're well aware. Oh, and we do need to let everybody know that you are, what do you do what is your career? That's helpful.
I'm a mental health counselor.
So,
in my day job, or whatever you want to call
it.
So
you can be psychoanalyzing me this whole time.
Yeah, no psycho.
Yeah, psycho. I have my moments. Yeah. But, what I found is when I was going through all this, my world became so small, it was really hard to leave the house. It was hard to do anything, and it just kept getting smaller and smaller. And finally, I had to sit myself down, have a nice chat with myself, and go, and find ways to get help. And one of the hopes of this program is, besides the fun component and education and just having a good time, is to find a way to help those that aren't ready to go out and seek help. Maybe bring the help to them. Okay.
So with that though, do you think that people know that they have anxieties? If they're not going out and seeking it, then how do they know they are anxious?
Well, you don't always know you're anxious. Sometimes you just know, okay, one of the other, oh God, get my skeletons back in the closet. But one of the things I used to do is, it's time to go to a party, or we got an event going on or whatever, and I would suddenly feel, I'm sick, I really don't want to go. Or I'd get all excited about going, and then as soon as I said, I'm going to go, I found, oh my God, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this? I just don't feel good. I know I'm not going to want to do this. Or as the day of the event comes up, I'll find another reason, as a friend says, flake out. So, it wasn't that I knew I had anxiety. I knew I didn't feel well when it was, there was just, I wanted to do stuff, I just couldn't get myself to do it.
I've had that same issue. I mean, I've made myself have a headache before I went
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but now, what is it that you do? What
do I do now, or what did I do then?
No, as far as occupation.
I'm a hypnotherapist, and I'm going to school to be a counselor, as you are.
Oh, okay.
And basically doing what I can to try to help people. I write. doing the program. I'm doing a lot of busy stuff.
Okay. So this help that you're wanting to do for other people, why would you want to do that? It seems kind of like a lot of.
You're a mental health professional, you know it's blah, but at the same time, that's our passion. That's my passion, because I know what it was like to be there. I still know what it's like to be there at times, because for me, I can't speak for anybody else, and I won't speak for anyone else, is I have yet to get over and be done with the anxiety or the angst, or even just the discomfort of, okay, we got a trip planned. We've got 2 actually. And I'm catching myself every once in a while thinking about it, going, oh my God, I got to be in a plane for 12 hours. I don't know if I can do that. Oh my. So, it's one of those, it's the anticipatory anxiety.
Yeah.
And I know I use that word anxiety a lot, but I don't know another word to use it, because anxiety for me is exaggerated fear with the bodily sensations that go with it. It's not just something, oh, I'm afraid of that cable or that snake that's right there. No, this is just the thought of it just sends me into it. So I did a lot of work to get to the point where at least I can talk about flying and book my trips, and and I don't get freaked out till we get closer.
Okay. So there's a fear. You identified that there's a fear that comes with this, and then the fear is, what is really behind the fear there? What is it? Because anxiety is probably an outward manifestation of something that's going on even deeper inside of you. What would that fear be?
I haven't figured that out yet.
Oh,
I know there's something somewhere that, I mean, if I go back, I can say, okay, I've always had this fear. Oh, I've always had this fear. But the fear of flying, it happened when I went to Europe. I don't recall what events, other than the fact it was the first time I was in a plane, and I had 2 small kids in tow, and it was a long flight, and I was moving there, and I was going to be there for 3 years.
Okay.
As soon as we landed, from that point forward, I figured, oh my God, I got to go home, I got to go home, I got to fly home. Oh my God, for 3 years, I just...
Really? You never went home?
I went home 3 years later, but I literally got on that plane and passed out. The only thing I heard was the stewardess say, "Is she okay?" I was gone.
Oh, wow.
And next thing I know, I saw Long Island.
Oh, on the way back.
Oh. It was like, holy crud.
Wow.
It was a rough...
Wow.
But I had worked myself into such a frenzy.
And it was from the trip from the United States to Europe.
Germany, to Europe, who did it. But when I got off the plane there, but from that point to the 3-year mark when we boarded the plane to come back, it was. So I don't know what it was, but
yeah.
It's neither here
So
nor
it may
there.
not necessarily been the flight. It may have been the anticipation of going to Germany. It could have been an anticipation not knowing what it was going to be like there. Blah blah blah. It could have been a lot.
Taking 2 kids in tow and sitting at JFK for 4 hours with 2 small children, and some guy hitting on me, which at the time was kind of nice, but.
Oh, wow.
That was then.
That was it right there.
Oh, God, don't let anybody hit me.
That had to be it.
Yeah.
Because maybe what happened was that this guy is hitting on you and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been gone for 3 years and I could have had an opportunity here.
Dang, I missed out.
I mean, really, maybe that was it.
It could have been. No, we're not going. I'm not flying anymore. I'm staying hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay.
I don't know.
Wow. So what does being a hypnotherapist do? What's that entail?
What does it entail? It depends what you need done. Not done. That was the wrong. Oh, just forget it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, let's turn this around for a minute. Have you ever been hypnotized?
Yes, a couple of times.
Okay. What was your experience?
Well, it wasn't what I expected at all. It was just like being conscious of what was happening right in the moment, and then what the hypnotherapist was saying to me, or kind of asking me to do or to think about, or I'm trying to think exactly. So it wasn't. It was just go back to this time or think about this. Before we even started, I wrote down some things that I wanted to work on, and then we worked on that. So so that was what it was like. It was not what I expected. I thought I was going to be kind of numb or something, and I wasn't. I thought I was going to be actually unconscious in a way. Yeah, not really conscious of what was happening and so forth, but that wasn't it at all. So.
Well, and see, that's one of the things we talk about as being hypnotherapists, is most of us are walking around unconscious now. What we do is try to get you conscious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So basically,
yeah.
we're trying to break that trance, if you want to call it a trance.
Mm-hmm.
But it, basically, all hypnotherapy is let me say, meditation is passive observation. You're just kind of just sitting there trying to just
mm-hmm.
clear your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Hypnotherapy is focused attention. And what we try to do when we're in a session is whatever the client is wanting to work on,
mm-hmm.
we try to get them to focus in.
Mm-hmm.
And basically we're focusing inward, we're asking a series of questions, we're helping you relax. All we are is the facilitator. You're doing all the work.
Okay.
You know, you can never, ever, ever do anything that you don't want to do.
Okay.
You know,
mm-hmm.
stage hypnosis I can't do. I wouldn't know how to.
Right,
I couldn't tell you. I could tell you, Heather, cluck like a chicken.
Yeah.
And you're gonna, if you want to cluck like a chicken, you're gonna cluck like a chicken.
Okay.
If you don't want to, you're gonna go,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, so does becoming a hypnotherapist have anything to do with your fears at all? Is that why you chose? What made you choose to go into hypnotherapy?
Well, one of the things is I used many, many, many modalities to try to work through my anxiety and to try to get on the other side of things, because I was
mm-hmm.
so tired of having such a narrow life. I also used it to quit smoking.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
or at least try to, but you know, it's one of those things. I went into their office, they're going, okay, do you want to do this? And I'm going, yes, with my mouth and no in my head.
Yeah.
And they're going, well, if you don't want to do this, you know, just go ahead and leave. Otherwise, it's going to be X amount of dollars and stay here. Well, instead of leaving because, you know, embarrassed, and
Okay.
I went ahead and stayed and had every intention of smoking when I walked out the door. So
Oh,
I
wow.
spent all this money to sit in this chair just because I was too embarrassed to get up and go, I'm not ready.
Oh, wow.
So you have to really want what it is you're going in for. It's not something that, oh, we're going to do magically.
Interesting. So really, hypnotherapy won't convince you to take that final step then. Okay.
It'll
change.
If you want to do it, if you have it within you to want to do something, it will help you do it.
Oh, okay.
If you don't want to do it, just like I had no intention of quitting smoking at that point. I had nope.
Yeah.
Here's $150 or whatever it was.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for the hour and a half nap. I'm out of here.
Interesting. Well, you know, that's very, very interesting because, you know, like with weight loss, which is a huge thing, I've heard that hypnotherapy is supposed to help you or facilitate or make it so that you can lose weight, and so really, unless you're really ready, it won't work.
Pretty much, you know. I mean, it's not, you know, like, okay, you know, I'm afraid I'm going to still want these things. That's one thing. But if you're going, you know, I'm just not ready. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time, because it is. You have to want this. It's a tool in the toolbox. It's not the end all, beat all, you know, any more than you can go in a gastric bypass or whatever. And if you still go ahead and eat a full bag of chips, you know, within an hour or whatever you're going to do, you're not going to lose any weight. You're going to probably mess up your surgery. But there's people who do that too.
Yeah.
So you have to come up, you know, maybe you want to see a therapist, maybe you want to see a hypnotherapist, maybe you want to see a dietitian, you know, whatever. But use tools, not just the one, because you can't put all your eggs in one basket with anything. At least I don't think you can.
Right.
You know?
So the reason you became a hypnotherapist then?
Is because I went in for the quit smoking, and I enjoyed what was being done. I just wasn't ready. But I also went in and talked to the hypnotherapist about the anxiety and the fears. And they worked with me to help me overcome some of those.
And did that work?
Yeah, that worked. You
Okay.
know,
What anxieties then did you overcome through hypnotherapy?
it didn't fully overcome them. It reduced them greatly.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I was actually able. I wanted to learn how to fly.
Oh.
You know, it was one of those things. It was I had gotten myself to the point where I couldn't do anything, and they helped me at least get to the point where I could start opening myself up to new experiences, to get myself out of the house, to get myself to try new things. You know, it's just like with anything else, it's just a tool.
Yeah, so that's quite a leap then, really, from being afraid to fly in a plane to wanting to learn how to fly? Wow. So that seems kind of extreme. Doesn't seem like there were a lot of baby steps to it. It just seems like you just went...
There probably were, I just don't recall them. You know, there are some baby steps because, you know, sometimes, but then again, sometimes we just get so sick and tired of being sick and tired that we say, enough. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I've got a friend who actually went skydiving. Oh, because she was afraid to talk in public, and she said, okay, if I can do this, I can do anything.
Oh, wow. So now she talks in public?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, it's
wow.
just,
I don't think I'd do that.
We, as humans, we do a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty, wow. That's amazing. Yeah, I suppose skydiving would do something to you.
Yeah, I would have to. I would need
so are
clean
you
clothes.
wanting to skydive?
Oh,
no,
I still have a problem going up in a plane. You think you're going to push me out of one? Not a chance.
Yeah.
I am going up in a helicopter though soon.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. So different than flying or what?
Oh, helicopter's still flying.
Okay.
It's just, we've done a hot air balloon.
Oh, okay.
So now we're going to do a helicopter. Actually, Omaha, or Nebraska's Wine and Balloon Festival is coming up, and you can do helicopter rides. So we decided to do helicopter rides.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay. Yeah.
So how many minutes do you get to go up?
I don't know. I'm thinking it's probably going to be one of those.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay, so something real quick. But you're looking forward to that? No anxiety associated with it?
No, until we start talking about no.
Okay.
No, but no, not really at this point. But then, you know, we'll see how it goes as we get closer.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Well, what do you think that, as far as anxieties and things that people fear, what would be the most common fear that people have? Do you know?
No, I don't know, because I don't know if the statistics are actually out there, because how many people really go, hey, I'm so-and-so, I've got anxiety, you know, or I'm afraid of this, or I'm afraid of that.
Sure.
You know, most of us are kind of going, okay, we kind of keep it closeted. The fear of flying, though, is pretty common and actually well accepted. And actually, I don't know if you heard of the Plane Whisperer. He's some guy out of, a pilot out of Arizona. And then there's Soar, who's out of the East Coast. And these are commercial airline pilots who become counselors, who help people overcome their fear of flying. Wow. So it's pretty common.
Yeah.
You know, and if you look at, actually, from what I heard, if you look at any aircraft, but probably about a third of these people at least have some sort of angst.
That are in the aircraft, you mean?
At any time. Anytime you look at somebody in an aircraft, probably about a third of them have some form of angst.
Sure. And explain what angst is.
To me, it's nervous anxiety. It's you know, you're just in a frenzy. You're uncomfortable. It could be anything from, you know, I'm a nervous flyer, I don't like to fly, to get me the hell off of this plane, which I have done before.
So I wonder, it'd be interesting to know which people that get on the plane are the ones who are experiencing anxiety. Are they the ones that come in last and you know, are trying to find some place to put their luggage, and they're moving stuff, and they're, you know, kind of being a little abrasive about everything. You know, there's those flyers, and then you know, you have the flyers that are there real early and they're sitting in their seat.
I would venture to guess it's the latter.
The latter, the ones that are just already there, already.
But you can watch. You can talk to people. I mean, I know for me, I'm one. You know, I'll look outside. I will make sure that air conditioner thing is on my face, going full bore. Yeah. You know, I try not to pay attention to all the people around me, because that's one of the things that's really big, is how many people there are. It's like enclosed, and you're going, oh, am I going to get out of here, and where's the exits, and you can't see forward, and all you see is people or heads, and I hate being in the back of the plane because all I see is heads. Yeah,
I can identify with that, yeah. You know, especially not being able to see out front where you're going. That, for me, even to this day when I get on the plane, is, you know, you have to go, well, I cannot see out. I can't see where we're going, and then if, you know, you look out the windows, the view is just so encapsulated. It's not very broad. So yeah, you're really in a tight place, because they don't give you a lot of room to sit either.
No, and from what I heard, they measured the butt not the shoulders. So that's why you're sitting in there, your butt is in there comfortably, but your shoulders, you're sitting there trying to fight for shoulder.
Oh, who measured your butt?
Measure my butt. Okay, never mind.
Your butt will fit.
You don't want to measure mine, trust me.
Your butt will fit, but your shoulders won't.
Well, you think about it. Stand up. Your shoulders are wider than your bum.
Well, yeah.
Everybody's shoulders are wider than their bum. Well, unless, not every. I should take that back. My mother's weren't. But you know, it's just basically your bum will fit. Your shoulders are just. That's where you're kind of getting cramped in there.
So they measured the people's backside.
Yeah. Which brings me to a really funny trivial.
Okay, go ahead. I want to hear it.
This has to do with trains. It has nothing to do with that.
With trains?
Do you know why the rails are as wide as they are?
For a train?
Yeah, the tracks.
Okay, why?
They fit 2 horses' butts when the horses are pulling the train.
Sure.
Sorry, it was just a piece.
And how often does a horse pull a train?
Back in the day.
Oh.
They did all the time.
Oh,
they pulled
really?
carts and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
neither here nor there. So, if any of the airlines are listening, I have a couple suggestions. A, put a screen up and let us see what's going on out front. Put a camera on the nose or whatever. You know, I don't care if you do one of these GoPros. Put it on so people can see.
Yeah.
Like, looks like they're looking out the front.
Oh, that'd be
We'll
cool.
feel a lot more comfortable. And number 2 is, you know, kind of widen the seats a little bit. Yeah, I know you're not going to get as much money, or you know, whatever, but.
Yeah.
You know, give us some comfort room, a little bit. Those of us who are a little fearful of flying, you know, we get a little claustrophobic, and make the windows a little bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 3 things. Got anything else you want to add to them? Not that they care.
Well, I would suggest a little bit more leg room. Yeah, because I tell you what, if you're at the window and you have to get out to go to the bathroom,
Oh my God.
probably have already gone by the time you get out. Because you have to get around. You have to. I mean, truly, everybody has to stand up. You know, file out, and it'd be legroom would be nice. It is amazing how they squish you in on a plane. I mean, and I guess with faster travel, I figure you can stand to be in close quarters.
Yeah, but they use the same size planes and the same amount of space for these longer flights too. I mean, to Australia is how long, or to Hawaii is how long? You know, I mean, even the 2-hour flight from Minneapolis to the East Coast, or 2.5-hour flight. That's a little long to be cramped, and you're kind of going, how am I going to stretch my legs? You know, and they wonder why people get, blood clots and just I can't move.
Actually, I had a friend whose husband traveled a lot, and he did. She said that he was having issues with blood clots and stuff in his legs because not only was he quite a bit, he was heavier, but just being cramped in the space for however long was really having a toll on his health. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that. Although you could put the responsibility back on him. He probably needed to lose some in order to be more comfortable because.
Well, you also need to move around a lot before and after your flight, drink plenty of fluids.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of things, but so I guess what it boils down to is what are we thinking? What are you thinking you'd like the show to be about? I mean, we just spent most of the time talking about anxieties and mostly fear of flying. So if what's your vision?
I have no vision.
Let me see.
No vision.
How many fingers?
Yeah, how many fingers? None. That's a good question. I guess this is all an unexpected surprise for me. So it's kind of been like that the whole time that we've been working on getting this together and coming up with topics and flipping topics out the window and then flipping them back in. And there's been a lot of transitions, and so it's been somewhat of a roller coaster ride, like riding in an airplane with the turbulence.
The turbulence,
yeah. On those smaller planes that come, because I'm from Wyoming, when they fly from out of Wyoming into Colorado, and it always seems like I was flying in the winter. I tell you what, you can get some big. It seems like you get some pretty big, what do you call those, turbulence? Yeah, but that isn't what it feels like. It feels like you're dropping like thousands of feet at a time. It's like, woo! And I remember the time that I was green, and green as in I really wanted to let go of some breakfast.
That's a
to
good
share it
visual.
with people. I really felt bad. And it's only like an hour, maybe 45 minutes, but it was a pretty miserable flight. And
Oh,
the
I'm
lady next to
sure.
me told me I was turning green. So it was quite the trip. But yeah.
Well, how
So
about
what
if
do
we
we-
do this? Let's
Okay.
just see how it goes. Let's see where
Okay.
it goes. You know, we can get viewers to write in, give us suggestions
Yeah,
and what they think,
yeah.
you know, and come up with comments, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, sounds good.
So I think this is a good start. Also, we want to let you know that we do have a support group for overcoming fears. Contact support@positivemomentum.net. If you have any questions for the television show, positivemomentumtv@gmail.com, and we will look forward to seeing you again. So,
What about inquiry? What's that one?
inquiry at positivemomentum.net is there too. I don't
What does that
remember.
one do for you?
It just gives me one more place to look. So
Oh, okay.
we've got
All right.
so many.
So if they have,
I think inquiry is. Go ahead.
go ahead. Nope. Inquiry is what?
I think that's to do with the show as well.
Yeah. So if you have questions or comments or something that we could use on the show, that would be great.
Okay.